Hello there, folks. It was today reported by various media outlets more than 213,000 burglaries last year went unsolved. That's approximately 584 per day and 76.8% of all cases across England and Wales. This is yet another disgraceful failure by the Conservative government to not only sufficiently invest in community policing, but also collapsing the living standards of so many in this country that people inevitably turn to crime to make ends meet. And when so many burglaries are unsolved, that can only embolden criminals and give them an air of invincibility. It's a total mess, a vicious cycle, and all squarely lands at the individual doorsteps of both Number 10 and the Home Office. This is a goddamn outrage. A person's home is the one place they should feel most safe. Yet crime is so rife and resources so limited, officers sometimes do not even attend the scene of the crime following a burglary. Suella Braverman has vowed to ensure an officer personally attends every burglary from now on, but goodness only knows when that will be enforced. Conservative media commentators are doing what they always do, blaming the police. It's never the fault of the government. If this were happening under a Labour government, the outrage towards them from the media machine would be palpable. That brings me on to Harry Miller, the man on the right of your screen. A complete idiot of epic proportions. There is no reason you should have heard of this guy. He is a time-wasting nobody, and apparently the founder of something called the Fair Cop Group. According to their website, Fair Cop is a group of individuals who have come together over shared concerns about police attempts to criminalise people for expressing opinions that don't contravene any laws. Out of curiosity, I had a very brief look at their Twitter page, and it is just jam-packed with anti-transgender bile. Anyway, for whatever reason, the concrete farmer decided this hate-filled ball of rage was just the guy to talk about the shocking burglary statistics. But, somewhat remarkably and incredibly foolishly, Harry Miller found himself confessing to a crime of his own. Confused? You should be. Because I am. Let's take a look.
Yes, it doesn't seem difficult, does it? But, I mean, to have 600 burglaries a day going unsolved has another effect, which is that the burglars, the people who do the burglaring, are never going to be put off from doing it because they'll be told and they'll be saying to each other, well, there's a pretty good chance that not only will I not be caught, but I won't even be identified. Nobody will come and find my fingerprints. You know, it's a sort of charter for just theft, isn't it?
No, that's exactly, because unfortunately we have a situation where the police prioritise crime in all kinds of weird ways. For instance, if you're burgled, the chances are that you are not going to get a visit by a police officer, even though Suella Braverman has said that she wants all victims of burglary to be visited. The chances are you're not going to be visited. If you put up a funny tweet, you're going to be contacted within 24 hours or 48 hours at the most. I know this, Mike, because I reported myself this weekend for a couple of hurt tweets, and I used a false name, obviously, and the police got in touch with me within 24 hours.
Wow.
Wondering if I was happy to give a statement and was I prepared to go to court over a tweet. I did that simply to test the system.
So they basically acted on a complaint from somebody that didn't exist. They didn't bother to check that the person making the complaint was real, but they came after you anyway.
Yeah. They contacted me as the victim. They contacted me as the victim and said, would I be prepared to go to court against Harry Miller?
Oh, sorry, they contacted you as the person making the complaint.
Yeah, I complained against myself. I used a false name. Yeah. Because I wanted to stress test the system.
Yes.
I wanted to see how quickly the police would react to a hurty tweet as opposed to more serious crime. And of course, the sad answer is they contacted me within 48 hours and were inviting me to a meeting where I would give a statement and said, would I be prepared to go to court for this heinous crime?
Unbelievable. But did they contact you as the perpetrator of the said crime?
No, they haven't yet contacted me as the perpetrator of the said crime. But when they do, Mike, you'll be the first to know because I'm going to record it away.
Well, wouldn't it be funny if you did go and have that meeting with them and say that you were prepared to go to court, and then they turn up to see you as the perpetrator, and it turns out you're the same bloke?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's exactly it, Mike. That's precisely what I'm going to do. I like to troll these people.
You won't be. You better be careful,
Mike, because it's serious. Because whilst they're busy acting on tweets and nonsense like that, and for instance, the Met rolling out this new LGBTQI task force, a sort of Stonewall Sweeney, if you like.
I mean, I suppose they might do you for wasting police time, so you should probably...
I don't care, Mike. I don't care. They can do me for police time. We're wasting police time, because what I will do, I will defend myself, and I will say, this is the reason that I have done it. I've done it as a public service to show just how completely messed up our policing priorities are. Yeah. I think it's worth taking a rap for that, Mike, don't you?
I think you're probably right. And it's...
Good luck with that defence, mate. I'd love to hear what a judge has to say about that. But, if that is a true story, and we have to bear in mind this guy is an attention-seeking lunatic, so it may not be a true story. But if it is, what an exceptionally stupid idiot we have on our hands here. Out of curiosity, let's have a look at what Section 5.2 of the Criminal Law Act of 1967 has to say about giving false information to the police. So, here it is, the Criminal Law Act of 1967, Section 5.2, where a person causes any wasteful employment of the police by knowingly making to any person a false report tending to show that an offence has been committed, or to give rise to apprehension for the safety of any persons or property, or tending to show that he has information material to any police inquiry, he shall be liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for not more than 6 months, or to a fine of not more than level 4 on the standard scale. And the standard scale level 4, the maximum fine is £2,500. I really hope this is a true story, and I really hope he is prosecuted and a judge throws the book at him. Police are under-resourced for this changing world. In days gone by, they had not the internet to worry about because it did not exist. Now every last person has a social media account. And yes, people do say things that they would not say in public. But guess what, bozo? Racism is still racism. Homophobia is still homophobia, etc., etc. And these things have to be investigated. He is downplaying cybercrime like it isn't worth worrying about. What's truly shocking is there aren't many more police officers working now than there were back in the year 2000, for example. But they now have 2 separate worlds to police. Only an idiot would believe cybercrime has not had a devastating impact on our communities because resources were removed from our communities to work on cybercrime. What should have happened is the number of police officers from the year 2000 by now should have doubled. Instead, when social media was starting to gain traction, Theresa May made devastating cuts. And look at how we have suffered and continue to suffer. As for Harry Miller's defence of, "Oh, I was only stress testing the system, Gov," the reason I scoffed at that is because any respectable judge would shake their head in dismay. It isn't the job of a member of the public to test laws by breaking them. It isn't a public service. You are taking away already stretched resources from people who may genuinely need them. Police officers are dedicating time to filling out paperwork for your fake crime report. One final thing to point out before I finally blow my top. The reason police are faster to respond to social media hate crime is because the evidence has usually already been compiled for them by the victim in the form of screenshots. It is often the easiest crime to prosecute because the evidence is already at the fingertips of investigators. It's so blindingly obvious, I'm surprised I need to mention it, but as long as people like Harry Miller exist, I will mention it. Because this is moronic, idiotic. What a pillock. Oh, I can't stand him. And I hope it ends really badly for him. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you again soon.